Hello, my name is Glenn and welcome back to the Cryptonest. I hope you're having a great day today, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. I hope it's going just great for you. I want to talk to you all today about a couple of things. First of all, being Deutsche Bank doing some research into crypto replacing fiat currencies by 2030. I want to talk to you about Steve Mnuchin here in the United States, talking about the fact that he doesn't see the United States releasing a federal cryptocurrency within the next 5 years. I want to talk to you about almost $9 billion of Bitcoin being transferred for a fee of as little as 60 cents. Wonder why the banks are nervous? Cryptoloans are seeing some solid gains here recently. Private blockchain browser Brave has been growing rapidly. Of course, I can understand that. I'm a big fan of Brave. And Andreas Antonopoulos, one of the biggest cryptocurrency advocates out there, has recently told credit cards to go stuff it. And because they wanted to close it, they told him that he couldn't actually deal in cryptocurrencies. So he told them to stick it. We're going to go over all that. If any of this sounds interesting, please stick around to the end. Go down below, click the subscribe button, hit the little bell there for notifications. That way when I release a new video, you'll be notified immediately. If you see anything here that you like, please drop me a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to get some feedback from you. Let me know what you think about how things are going. I do have a giveaway coming up, guys. If you could all do me a big favor and share my video, when my channel gets up to 100 subscribers, I have a book that I want to give away. The Bitcoin and Blockchain Manual, I believe it is. It's from Robert Beatles. He recently wrote it. I picked one up for myself, as well as one that I plan on giving away here on the channel. Share my videos, help me get this channel up to 100 subscribers so I can do that giveaway. That'd be just awesome. Deutsche Bank here, moving right along, is doing research into crypto replacing fiat currencies by the year of 2030. And by the year 2030, the demand for alternative currencies will rise, with digital currencies eventually replacing cash, according to the recent research from Deutsche Bank. This doesn't sound too unusual. I've been saying for a while that in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't really see us dealing in cash anymore. I can see us using more digital currencies. This makes a whole lot of sense to me. In the Imagine 2030 report, Deutsche Bank strategist Jim Reed raised awareness of the challenges the existing fiat system has encountered in recent years, specifically with the emergence of cryptocurrencies. Reed stipulated that people's heightened demand for dematerialized means of payment and anonymity could drive more individuals to digital currencies. People are getting concerned about their privacy. They're not so excited about having everybody know everything that they do all the time. People like to have a certain look. We're human beings. We all like to have a little bit of privacy. Let's just face it, it's the way it is. So much out there today is stealing and stripping away every little bit of privacy that we have through the use of data miners and things like this, through websites like Facebook that are, take all of our information. And Facebook knows more about us than we do. Come on, let's get real. Mainstream adoption and co-occurring challenges. Of course, in order for digital currencies to take over or to be used in a more wide scale, receive more adoption, there are going to be a few challenges that are going to have to be overcome. In order to gain wider acceptance, digital assets need to overcome 3 major hurdles, according to this story. These include perceived legitimacy in the eyes of the government and regulators, which entails price stability and allows for global reach in the payment market. Now, this is going to be difficult when you have people like Steve Mnuchin, who we're going to talk about here in a moment, who are going on national TV stating that he doesn't believe that cash is used for money laundering, that they have a good grip on it. And then 2 weeks later, 2 vice presidents for Goldman Sachs, the very company that Steve Mnuchin used to work for, are arrested for money laundering. Imagine that. So it's not hard to see why, our government and the regulators in our government are having a problem with the perceived legitimacy of it. Maybe it's not so much the legitimacy of the currency that they're concerned about. I'm just going to leave it at that. According to Reed, the establishment of alliances with key stakeholders like mobile apps and card providers will enable this development. At the same time, Reed pointed out that with mainstream adoption, new challenges will arise. Among major threats to the purported digital currency-based financial system, Reed named dependency on electricity, cyber attacks, and a digital war. As that occurs, in the line between cryptocurrencies, financial institutions, and public and private sectors may become blurred, Reed wrote. There are plenty of countries that are examining CBDC, and in the meantime, world governments have been actively debating the need to develop national digital currencies. Earlier today, the Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda oh, I butchered that, I'm sorry, said that there is no public demand for the central bank digital currency in the country, the CBDC. Kuroda noted the increasing demand for cash payments and added that the bank had been conducting technical and legal research into the matter. The British Virgin Islands has taken a more proactive approach to CBDCs, announcing that the country is developing a digital currency dubbed BVI Life in collaboration with blockchain startup Life Labs. The currency is part of a broader initiative to grow the local fintech sector, and it'll be pegged to the US dollar. The Central Bank of France plans to pilot a CBDC for financial institutions in 2020. I talked about that in an article, I believe, yesterday. It'd be really nice if the United States would get off their butts here and some of these regulators would give up a little bit of their control and allow us to have what we need here to make this work, because we're going to lose out. America's going to lose out, and all these other countries are going to be so much further ahead. Steve Mnuchin doesn't expect the U.S. to issue a digital dollar in the next 5 years. Imagine that. The United States Secretary of the Treasury, Steven Mnuchin, said that he and the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell do not anticipate the development of a national digital currency in the country. Mnuchin delivered his comments during a White House Financial Services Committee hearing in Washington. Bloomberg reported on December 5th. Chair Powell and I have discussed this. We both agree that in the near future, in the next 5 years, we see no need for the Fed to issue a digital currency, Mnuchin said. The Treasury Secretary's statement came in response to a question about Facebook's yet-to-be-released Libra stablecoin. Mnuchin further said that he has no objection to Libra as long as it is fully compliant with bank secrecy and anti-money laundering regulations, so that in no way can this be used for terrorist financing. Same old story over and over again. Terrorist financing. Don't want to use it for buying drugs. Don't want to use it. Don't want people to use it to avoid taxes. Got to watch out for money laundering. Same old garbage over and over again. In other words, what they're saying, guys, is we don't trust our citizens with their own money. We don't trust our people with how they can spend their money. We don't trust our people to be smart enough to know where they can and can't spend their money. So therefore, we have to regulate it and tell them no, because the people that live within this country are not intelligent enough to understand what a good investment is. And that's essentially what these regulators are trying to tell us. And although I do understand that their regulations are there for a reason, and there are certain people that they are there to protect and help, the government overreach has just gotten so ridiculous nowadays. It's disgusting. The regulator's critical stance towards crypto, the Federal Reserve sent a letter to the U.S. Representatives French Hill and Bill Fosters in mid-November, in which the agency revealed that it is not currently developing a central bank digital currency, but it has assessed and continues to evaluate the costs and benefits of such an initiative. Powell said in a letter that prior to issuing a CBDC, the Federal Reserve has to address a number of legal questions, including monetary and payment policies, financial stability, supervision, and operational issues, and their vulnerability to cyber attacks. On December 4th, a panel of senior financial regulators in the United States, headed by Mnuchin, warned the public about the purported risks of stablecoins and cryptocurrencies. The regulators stated, if a stablecoin became widely adopted as a means of payment or store of value, disruptions to the stablecoin system could affect the wider economy. Financial regulators should review existing and planned digital asset arrangements and their risks as appropriate. Oh, so a stablecoin. So I guess the dollar would be considered a fiat dollar. I mean, it's supposed to have the same value all the time. It's not supposed to change. I guess that would be considered the same, along the same lines as a stablecoin, so to speak, because a stablecoin is pegged to a dollar. Having said that, the Federal Reserve continues to print billions and billions and billions of dollars on a daily basis, reducing the purchasing power of every single United States citizen by the minute. Every dollar you have in your pocket goes down in value by the minute because of the Federal Reserve policies. Maybe, just maybe, the whole reason why the Federal Reserve isn't interested in creating a CBDC or using something like Bitcoin is because of the whole immutable records that would show then where all the money is going, and they can't have that. Okay, I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here for just a moment, guys. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too deep down this rabbit hole, but let's be realistic. The Federal Reserve does not have our best interest at mind, has not had our best interest at mind for a long time. They loan money to our government at an interest rate, which we are then required to pay back. It's a total ridiculous system. I'll do more videos about this in the future. I definitely encourage people to take a look into the Federal Reserve, how it was created, why it was created. I think you'd be very interested. when you get to the bottom of it. So I can understand completely why the United States government wouldn't want this. Number one, it would devalue their dollar. Number two, they wouldn't be able to continue to just print more and more and more. Number three, they would be able to, people would be able to see where they were spending their money. There would be ways of being able to track it. They don't want that. They want to know everything we do with our money, but they surely don't want us to know what they're doing with our money. Just look at all the calls for auditing the Fed here over the last 10, 15, 20 years, and not one of them has ever come through, and it never will, because the people in charge don't want you to know that they're keeping all the money for themselves. Anyway, take my tin hat off now and we'll move on forward. Almost $9 billion of Bitcoin moved on chain in an hour. On December 4th, $8.9 billion of Bitcoin were moved on the blockchain in a single hour, excluding exchange volume. Now, the reason I bring this up actually is not so much to get into the story so much as it is to show you here that they thought that Bittrex, which is a major exchange, was responsible for the spike in volume of all the coins moving. They're not sure exactly why, but according to the tweet, the exchange performed 21 on-chain transactions within 1 hour, each of which moved around 56,000 Bitcoin, nearly $4.6 million for a fee of about 60 cents. The tweet also contained a link to data pertaining to the first of those transactions. 60 cents, guys, to send $416 million. You can understand why the banks would be a little concerned. They're not going to be able to charge. If you were to send that same $416 million through a bank wire, it would cost you thousands of dollars. You can do it with Bitcoin for 60 cents. Once again, cutting into the bank's bottom line. Once again, giving banks a reason to be concerned. Because if we can just transfer the money ourselves without them having to tell us yes or no, and without them having to control it, we can do it for 60 cents instead of thousands of dollars. Cut the middleman out of the situation, and the banks just lost all that money. Now you're maybe beginning to understand why banks have such a pushback when it comes to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Cryptoloans have been seeing solid growth, and their platforms are attracting a lot of community interest. You've heard me talk over and over again about several different platforms that I use, and I will go over some more in the future. It may seem surprising, but platforms designed for loans and lending through the use of currencies. Cryptocurrencies are a relatively new development for the crypto industry. Each platform adheres to its own strategy, but the idea shared by all of its users is that all users put their cryptocurrency into an automated smart contract as collateral for a loan. This is a young industry, and cryptocurrency loan platforms began to develop during the bear markets in 2018 as crypto prices became critically low. As the rates of back in 2017, we hit the big bubble. The rates started coming down after that. For the last year and a half, we've been pretty much in a bear market where prices have been coming down. While that was going on, a lot of altcoins, what we call altcoins, started programs where you could do what's called staking. Basically, if you lock your coins up within their system, they would pay you additional coins, kind of like paying interest in a bank account. And from that sparked all of these crypto loan companies that are coming out now. They offer low interest rates. You can take loans for 4, 5, 6, 7%, 8%, as opposed to 19, 20% from the credit cards at the banks. You get paid 3, 4, 5, 6, 8%, depending on which cryptocurrencies you're holding. You get paid in interest, as opposed to 0.01% that you're going to get at a bank. So much better situation using one of these platforms. This is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. Do not buy anything because some guy on YouTube told you to. Okay, do your own research, make sure you check into it and you know exactly where you're putting your money and what you're putting your money into. Today, the entire crypto loaning industry is estimated at $4.7 billion. In the first quarter of 2019, over 54 new 100 loans were issued, and in the second, at least 18,500 new loans issued. So you can see there's a lot of growth there just within one quarter. The volume of lending also increased, with lenders issuing 64.8 million in loans in the first quarter and 159.3 million in the second. So there's a lot of growth going on in this industry. And which loan would you want to choose, and where would you want to go for it? As I said, you're going to want to do your own research. And I found out from doing my own research that there are some that are better than others, at least for me. For example, I really like Celsius Network. However, Celsius Network is not able to do loans in the state of Nevada where I live. Therefore, I personally would probably not want to use Celsius Network for loans, although they do pay interest. So depending on what my needs are, would depend on which one of the wallets that I might want to go to, and depending on my geographical location. So you're going to want to do your own research and look into these things and make sure that the one that you're using is going to be the best for you in your area. In places with thriving and well-developed financial systems, crypto is being absorbed as a new asset class, and this will continue to happen under the watchful eyes of regulators. Despite the constraints, we can expect to see innovation because of crypto's unique properties. We can expect to see crypto lending continue to develop in places like the US, EU, Japan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Murphy believes that in less developed countries where traditional finance has a weak foothold, regulatory structures are weak, and many citizens are unbanked, cryptocurrencies allow a new financial system to emerge. We're currently seeing the most activity in Southeast Asia, but also lots of interest throughout Africa. There's some interesting work being done in Latin America, but most interesting projects are moving out of the region. This isn't surprising, as many people in Latin America have relatively close ancestral ties to Europe. This has a crypto loan platform comparison. I'm going to drop the link in the description below, like I always do, so you can go back and look at this on your own. I'm going to go through it real quickly here. Salt Lending, Nexo, Celsius Network, Hodler, and BlockFi are some of the programs that they've looked through here, some of the loan platforms that they've looked through. Salt Lending, I know, was one of the first that came out. I understand there were some issues and some regulatory issues going on there. Again, do your own research before getting involved with any of these. BlockFi is one that I'm familiar with. I actually have done a video on. I'll leave the link will be in the description. I'll see if I can't put it up on the screen here for you so you can go watch it. They were founded in June of 2017. BlockFi is a New Jersey-based crypto asset management company that allows users to earn interest and borrow money through offering crypto as collateral. BlockFi works with Gemini Trust Company, which is fully licensed by this New York State Department of Financial Services. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there's a lot of companies that can't do business in New York because of regulations. New York has very strict cryptocurrency regulations, and BlockFi is one of those that apparently can work within New York. Salt Lending, as I said, is one of the first platforms in the market, short for Secure Automated Lending Technology. The project was founded in the United States in 2016. It's a blockchain-based lending platform that allows users to receive funds directly to their bank accounts. Currently, Salt Lending has expanded to 33 U.S. states and also operates in the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. I need to do a video on them so that I can familiarize myself with them more. I do apologize for not having done so far. Nexo is one that I am familiar with. They've established in 2017, and Nexo is an instant lending platform that claims to have a military level of security. Basically, that means 256-bit encryption. To start the loan process, users transfer assets to their secure Nexo wallets, where these assets come under the protection of the BitGo repository. So basically, you're giving them your keys. You're giving them your coins. Remember, not your keys, not your coins, okay? You're turning over your coins to them to hold on to as collateral for future loans. So although you do get it all back, as long as you pay off your loan, that's just something to consider. Always remember that. So, and that's pretty much with all of these platforms. And then users can obtain their instant credit. The platform accepts submissions of Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think that's supposed to be XRP. They've got it backwards. XPR. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, XLM, BCH, stablecoins, Nexo tokens, and BNB as collateral. If that's not XRP and it is supposed to be XPR, I am sorry, guys, but it looks to me like they made a typo here. After confirming the collateral, right there. After confirming the collateral, the Nexo Oracle evaluates the collateral and then calculates a suitable loan-to-value ratio. After the LTV is calculated, users receive money directly in the form of fiat or a stablecoin. Repaying a loan to Nexo is quite flexible, as users are not required to repay monthly until their balance is less than the loan limit. And like Salt, Nexo tokens can be used to lower interest rates and payments. Most of these platforms have their own coin, their own token, that if you hold some of their tokens, it helps to reduce some of your fees and your interest rates. Our customers only pay interest on the amount they borrow. In contrast, other lenders require you to withdraw the entire amount of the loan at the time of origination, meaning customers pay interest on their full loan. The Celsius Network was created in 2017 and is a crypto credit platform providing a new model of financial services that in the best interest of the community, that act in the best interest of the community. It has a mobile app that allows users to earn interest on stablecoins and a number of cryptocurrencies. I do like Celsius Network. Alex Mnuchin, the CEO of Celsius Network, is a great guy. I look forward to hopefully being able to get him on the channel one day, do an interview with him. We have that to look forward to. I would definitely look into Celsius Network. I personally cannot use Celsius Network for loans because of the state that I live in. However, I can use it for interest and actually do use the Celsius wallet for like hodling, but I can't do loans through it. So I have a different app that I'm using that works within my state. BlockFi actually works within my state, and so does Nexo. But Celsius Network does not work here in the state of Nevada for loans. uHodler is a Swiss company that specializes in providing a cryptocurrency line of credit and cryptocurrency exchange platform. Founded in 2018, the company's mission is to minimize passive ownership, allowing investors to earn interest on their assets or borrow money. So you can exchange on uHodler. You can also receive interest on uHodler. One of the most core products offered by uHodler are cryptocurrency loans. So you can take out loans through them, available in tokens such as BTC, ETH, XRP, Dash, LTC, and so on. Depending on the tokens, users can choose one of the available plans, which differ by loan period. For example, users can choose plans that range from 55% to 95% in cost ratio, from 5% to 40% in price reduction, and a loan period from 30 days to 180 days. So there's a lot of different options there. Once again, do your own research to find out what's going to be best for you. You can see with a lot of what we've talked about here today, why banks obviously are still concerned, why they would be getting more concerned. We have things like Brave browser, which I've talked to you before, which is a private browser, privacy browser. I like Brave. It's awesome. Their browser has doubled monthly active users in 2019. Privacy-oriented blockchain web browser Brave has seen its monthly active users almost double from 5.5 million in 2018 to 10.4 million in 2019. And at the same time, Brave's daily active users have tripled over the past year to reach 3.3 million. So, I mean, there's a lot of people moving over to the Brave browser. Obviously, it shows that people are interested in their own privacy. It saves you time when you're browsing the web. It blocks ads. It does a lot of great things for you. It's got a 12 times increase in new publishers. I happen to be a new publisher. For example, if you wanted to give me a tip or anybody else on the internet a tip that has verified themselves with Brave, all you would have to do if you're using the Brave browser would be to go up here and click this little triangle up here above, and right here where it says send a tip, and you would be able to go ahead and send a tip directly to the content creator of the page that you are on, so that you can show them your appreciation. And there's no other browsers that do that at the moment, so it's you can get paid through the browser by people appreciating what you do, and by creating content verifying your page, you can then collect Brave tokens or be paid in Brave tokens or pay other people in Brave tokens. Or they're actually BAT tokens, not Brave tokens. I keep saying Brave tokens, a BAT token, BAT, basic attention tokens. A number of reports show that Brave is becoming increasingly popular. Brave reportedly overtook its major competitors like Chrome, Firefox, and Opera in Japanese Google Play in September. Mozilla co-founder and JavaScript creator Brendan Eich first announced by Brave in 2016. The browser allows users to tip on major social media platforms, including Twitter, ad-free video platform Vimeo, and social news site Reddit using Brave's BAT token. Also on YouTube, you can also use BAT tokens on YouTube. So pretty interesting, and as you can see, the wave is growing. Check out Brave. There is a link in the description down below. I think they give you $5 of free Brave tokens of BAT tokens if you sign up using my link. If you do, great. If not, that's okay too. I would appreciate it if you do. It does help the channel. Thank you very much. But obviously, it's not a requirement. Now, Andreas Antonopoulos, for those of you that don't know, Andreas Antonopoulos is a computer scientist. He's been around since the beginning of Bitcoin. He knows a lot about Bitcoin, the ins and outs. I mean, he can read the code. He can write the code. This guy is very, very intelligent. I definitely suggest that you look him up and follow him on Twitter and YouTube. I do, and I always love his stuff. The American financial software company Intuit has apparently limited the account of one of cryptocurrency industry's best-known figures, Andreas Antonopoulos. That was not a good move on their part. In a series of tweets on December 4th, Antonopoulos stated that Intuit had prevented him from accepting credit card payments via its accounting services due to his use of cryptocurrency. Andreas Antonopoulos is one of the biggest crypto Bitcoin advocates out there. He travels around the world doing seminars, conventions, educational speeches, things of this nature, teaching people about blockchain, Bitcoin, the future of digital currencies, so on and so forth. He undertakes regular international tours as a speaker and educator on Bitcoin. When Intuit contacted him, He actually commented on the events, and he appeared to refuse to comply. Intuit Merchant Services, Intuit just told me that I can't be using crypto if I accept credit cards for my invoices. They asked me to remove crypto from my site. So I instead elected to remove Intuit and their credit card services from my life. As I said, that was not a good move on their part. Andreas Antonopoulos has been living his life on Bitcoin for 10 years now, or practically 10 years now. He's not about to turn around and go back, and neither would I if I were in his position, which I hope to be. Maybe not financially, but as far as using Bitcoin and for my life and using cryptocurrency for my life needs, I definitely am working towards that. And continuing, he added that Intuit had disabled the option for him to accept credit card payments for his activities. So here he is, accepting Bitcoin, talking to everybody about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is, disrupting the banks. And here the banks come in and, well, basically tell him that he can't accept credit card payments because he's dealing in Bitcoin. Imagine that. He's a fierce critic of traditional finance, often explaining to audience how banks stand to lose to Bitcoin and new standards of individual financial sovereignty. He tweeted today, "The banking cartel doesn't want competition or risk. They prefer monopolies, kleptocracy, and captured regulators." And well, that pretty much right there, I think, sums up the whole thing as to why we have this situation going on that we have today. It's banks. I do appreciate your time. Do me a favor, take a moment to go down below, click the subscribe button, give me a like if you liked any of the content that you heard in this video today, and click the little bell so you can be notified when I release a new video. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, whatever time it may be. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Bye-bye now.